Spurs got a win last night against the Magic. Wemby scored 31. Fox added 30. The Spurs return to action tomorrow in Boston. Kellen Moore is now the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. It's looking like Brandon Staley may be his defensive coordinator. And tonight, the Longhorns take on second-ranked Alabama. Tip-off set for 8 on ESPN, while 12th-ranked Texas Tech plays host to Arizona State.
If you smoke, take it outside. Get the facts at don'tpassgas.org.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining me, whether that is on 94.1 on your FM dial, if you happen to be listening live online at sasportstar.com via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or, of course, if you're watching on YouTube, all of our shows stream live on YouTube, whether that's Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob, The Blitz with Jason and Joe, or myself right here on Extra Innings with Pledge. That is right. You can watch all those shows live as they happen. Just go to YouTube, search SA Sports Star. You can like, subscribe, and comment along with the show as it happens. Freedom Ride, Fred Villarreal, already in the chat. Fred, actually, congratulations for winning those Los Lonely Boy tickets right there at the end of the Blitz. So one of the all-day listeners, much like Freedom Ride, see him in the chat from morning to night. Appreciate all y'all for rolling through today. And earlier this morning, speaking of all day, I was listening to the Morning Huddle while I was in the gym, and they were talking about the San Antonio Spurs and kind of where we're at through these first handful of games with De'Aaron Fox. Now we've had him here for a little bit and kind of started to incorporate him in, and what the thoughts are as De'Aaron Fox now has become part of the San Antonio Spurs, and what the early returns are despite a couple of close losses and now a couple of wins that were probably closer than they should have been.
The San Antonio Spurs last night got themselves a victory, a much needed victory, because let's face it, things haven't been going great for Los Spurs recently. But does it make you feel better about where this team is headed, or was that just is that a result that is based solely on the opponent?
The Wizards were an AAU team last night.
Yeah, I mean they're terrible.
I mean, that was a joke, and we played appropriately in the first quarter. They were about to blast them out of the water, and then they ran into that drought that inexplicably happens to the Spurs. Now, to their credit, third quarters have been better. They're better coming out of the locker room, but there's something that goes on after Mitch has gone through his standard sub pattern, after he goes in with his starters and then 2 minutes and then 8 minutes, and then he's got his rotation set, and then he starts cycling back in. You know, he starts bringing guys back in after their first rest. For whatever reason, the witchcraft of his team collapses, and it's happening more. It's always happened, but it was more apparent over the last several games on the road because things get magnified there. And it happened again yesterday. They just happened to be playing a team that is bereft of any talent. And oh, by the way, I didn't know Champagne had a twin.
Who?
His twin brother plays for the Wizards, and that cat looks exactly like him and was running trash. He hit a three.
They're
his
twin brothers?
They are identical.
Justin is the other one?
Justin and Julian.
Huh.
But dudes look exactly alike. And I saw the game start, and I saw the dude in the Wizards uni. He's on a 10-day, or he's pulled up. He's on a 2-way.
I saw him. I thought it must have been like a cousin or something. I didn't know it was his twin brother.
Twin. And he hit a three on his brother and was running smack. And after that happened, Keldon got into a little tussle, not with the brother, but with another one. But it was kind of an awkward moment when one twin was in the other twin's grill running it down the court. Now, Jules, to his credit, kind of laughed at it. But that was some brother-on-brother crime last night. It was kind of funny.
The Wizards did what the Spurs usually do and shot 14 of 47 from three. Boy, Jordan Poole, there's not enough shots for him to take, I don't think. There is not a shot. He's never seen a shot that he doesn't want to take.
You know, Marcus Smart recently of the Grizz, who never fit in there. You know, I don't know. It just never worked out. Now he's been banished to the gulag. And Marcus Smart, when he was a high school player here in Texas, played at Flower Mound, played the best high school basketball game I have ever seen played by a high school schoolboy in a state championship.
Okay.
The best. And I've watched the guy who lives on defense slowly slide down the league. And now he's at Washington. Oh, my gosh, poor guy, because they don't play defense in Washington. They don't even know what that means. That was a good win. That was a win that was required. It wasn't a great win. It was a win that was taken because De'Aaron Fox is a straight-up bucket getter. Well, that's why we won.
And not it was nice to break the streak of losing games by 1 point, which the Spurs seem to and winning by. They played 3 games in a row decided by 1 point.
Think about where the Spurs would be if just over the last week things would have just gone like most normal teams. I mean, our conversations would be so ridiculously different.
Yeah.
But you just don't have that margin. The margin for error is so slim between 7th and 12th. I mean, you just don't have – there's just no room to make a mistake, and you can't lose 2 games like that. And tonight, or when we get into Boston tomorrow night, it's a good time to go play Boston. It's a good time.
We also Alex Sarr didn't play.
No Sarr, no.
I guess he's got an ankle issue. I was kind of curious to see what he looked like. A lot of people think he's having one of the better rookie years.
Well, there's the reason why they got rid of Kuzma, because to let Sarr kind of flourish. They've got a guy they can build around him.
Yeah, he was rookie of the month in December. But yeah, I would have liked to see him last night. But speaking of rookies, you and I agree that you just have to start Steph Castle now.
Okay, let's get into this. I can see both sides of the argument. It does make a lot of sense because I do believe you need Chris Paul out there, even though he's new to us. He's not as new as De'Aaron Fox is, and Chris Paul is a floor general, and he's telling De'Aaron where to be. I mean, he's on the. I get why he's out there, but it's time for Stephen to start. I don't know of anybody who's watched the last week that doesn't think that Stephen needs more minutes and needs more minutes with De'Aaron. Now, that takes away from some continuity, but it's just a necessary evil. I don't know how long we're going to wait. Maybe it'll be the All-Star break. Everybody goes back. We get a couple of days of practice, some other work, and then we'll see the change. But it's imminent. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. There's no reason why it shouldn't happen.
I mean, at some point you've got to start playing towards the future.
Yes.
And it looks like the future's not this year for the Spurs. So might as well start now. Again, I'm a big believer in the value that Chris Paul provides, but it doesn't mean that he's got to eat up all the minutes.
Right.
Especially now, if we were talking about a team that's in the play-in mix right now, it's a different story.
And it's still possible. And I still think it's a worthy aspiration.
But it's not going to happen if you keep starting Chris Paul.
Well, I would also say
running out of gas.
Well, I think there's that. But I also will say that the continuity, the reason that De'Aaron Fox is capable of going and getting 30 points is he's got Chris Paul on the court for about half of those minutes. Those two guys they just know the game, and they can do things just because they know the game together that De'Aaron Fox wouldn't be able to do alone. There's a reason why he's able to go get 30.
And again, I don't really care who's starting. What I do care about is Steph getting 20 minutes and Chris Paul getting 35 minutes. That doesn't make any sense to me at this point.
There's some other things in play here. I think Stephen Castle is working his way into the conversation of first or second rookie of the year. He's getting And I think after this All-Star break, when we see him in the dunk contest, his name is going to be more and more out there as a Rookie of the Year candidate. And you kind of owe it to your young kid to give him access to that. So there's that. You've got the idea, Chris Paul's not going to be here next year. I'd like for him to be here, but I can't imagine a scenario where he is. And even if he is, he has to assume the role as the backup guard, however you want to define that. And I think sooner or later for that, because there are other things in play, because Devin now needs to get used to playing with these. And then we got to figure out at 4. But all of this comes down to your guard play. And once we get continuity, then we can start addressing the true problem with our coaching. And that is the substitution patterns just start working for young guys, old guys, the meshing. When we lose games close at the end, when we lose big leads in the middle of the first and second quarters, that's coaching. That's not Jimmy's and Joe's. That's just reading the game and flow.
It's hard to argue with some of that Rob finished out with there, especially when it comes down to the coaching, and lots to get into when it comes to this. Ram saying on our YouTube live, they've been telling Rob and AJ all season. Now they want to jump on the Castle train. I've been big on the Castle train, and there was a point in the season where he was starting along with Chris Paul, and they were starting together. There was somebody else who wasn't starting that I think needs to go back to the bench. We'll discuss all that when we come back. More Spurs talk right here on Extra Innings with Pledge on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
George gets justice. Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George, because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Take the guesswork out of buying and selling your home with Orchard. Hi, Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Will your home sell in time? Which upgrades are worth it? Can you keep your home show ready with a busy life? Orchard has all the answers. With Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, you can buy your new home before selling your old one. It's simple. Orchard gives you an equity advance, unlocking cash to buy your new home first. That's right. You don't have to wait for your old place to sell. You can move in right away, and no more rushing out for showings or constant cleaning, because Orchard sells your old home after you've settled into your new home. Orchard even handles repairs and improvement at no out-of-pocket cost to you. Their local pros know which upgrades bring you the most money, so you sell for top dollar. Buy before you sell and skip the selling hassles with Orchard. Start your free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
Summer or winter Texas weather doesn't do anything halfway, and neither should your roofer. You need a local roofer you can trust. That is Stevens Roofing. You know, Texas roofs are not designed for freezing weather. When ice and snow melt, water seeps into the little cracks, then refreezes, creating bigger cracks. That means leaks or maybe worse. Don't wait to see what damage has occurred. Call Stevens Roofing today for a free inspection. 210-785-0994. That's 210-785-0994 for Stevens Roofing.
Do you ever scroll through social media only to find yourself bombarded by bad news, hot takes, picture-perfect families, and yet another humbling professional update? It's hard not to get wrapped up in how everyone else is doing, but imagine how you would feel if you spent 45 minutes focused on how you are doing. At Cerebral, they make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication personalized to you. The best part, Cerebral offers in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. In fact, 72% of people people say they felt better in just 12 weeks. Cerebral makes mental health care easy, accessible, and more affordable. Cerebral is proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs, and just like athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health is just as important, and Cerebral is here to help you build a strong foundation on your overall well-being. Take that first step today. Go to Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral, make time for mind time.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hear that? The sound of adorable little birds in your garden. And if you were here, you'd taste the 2 sweet but tiny tomatoes you grew all by yourself. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens when you're riding your motorcycle, protected by Progressive, on your way to the store for a pack of normal-sized tomatoes. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without getting your hands dirty. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm's President's Day sale is happening now. Get a king bed for a queen price. Save up to $700 plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Cowboys play here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that great stuff at I am Pleasure. You can follow the station at SA Sports Star. You can come along with the show on our YouTube live feed. Just go search SA Sports Star on YouTube. Go ahead and comment along, or feel free to call into the show, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Your conversation is always welcome here on Extra Innings with Pledge. Fred Villarreal says CP3 won't be back next year. All his interviews said he came to ball, not to sit on the bench like he did in Golden State. Love him back, but don't think he will be with Castle and Fox sitting around. Look, I will tell you this. There's some things that I noticed from the beginning of the season till now when Pop was here. Injuries played a factor, but, Fox, Castle's minutes became quite the discussion on the Blitz a little bit earlier today with Jason and Joe.
Spurs last night get a win. They surpassed last year's win total.
Wow, how about that? Let's have a parade.
Hey, you know what? You got to celebrate the small victories. They took a step because it's all about the next step.
Stop it.
Last night's game. Now, I will admit, I went to dinner last night.
It was your birthday.
It was my birthday. Went to dinner, and I looked at the score by the time, because the game started at 6. So by the time we get to the restaurant, it's around 7. I'm looking at the score going, okay, this is going the way I think it should go. I enjoy a fantastic dinner, and I check my score, and now it's a tight game. I'm like, I'm not surprised because it's what the Spurs do, except it was against Washington.
Washington sucks. I mean, they're in the tank big time, and you can tell that last night, but they look good. I'm the same way. I'm watching this game going, all right, it was close at the beginning. I get that. No problem. And then the Spurs go on a run. They pull it out, double-digit lead. And then they just let Washington come right back. And they come back, and then it's a tight game throughout, right? No more than about 6-8 points. Spurs were always ahead. They never would let Washington get over the hump, but it just – and then finally there toward the end, they pull away and get the 10-point win.
Now, De'Aaron Fox hasn't been here long enough to be overly frustrated. But, man, this dude sounded frustrated last night after the game.
2 of my 3 games, we've been up 20. And both of those games turned into one-possession games, and obviously we won one and we lost one. And I said at some point we have to figure out how we want to play with the lead. You know, whenever you get up 20, or even when you're at 15, how can you get us to 21 rather than back down to 8? And a lot of what we do is going to be on the defensive side. We won 3 of the 4 quarters, but that second quarter is what got them back in the game. And if we finish that quarter better, now they're going into halftime thinking something totally different. So as a team, we have to be able to figure out, how we do that.
I totally agree with that. And maybe a little frustration there, but that is frustrating. You play well, you get out to a big lead. A couple of things bother me about last night. I'm glad they got the win. That's great. They should beat Washington, no problem. They didn't cover the spread, so if you bet the Spurs, you lost.
Told you not to.
I did not.
I
didn't have the stones to bet Washington either. Although now I wish I would have.
131, 121 was 11.5.
It was
close.
It depends on it was no lower than 10.5. I saw. So either way, you lose. Couple of things. Devin Vassell didn't play all that well last night. Didn't shoot the ball well. Why? And please help me with this, Spurs fans. And I know everybody out there is a Stephon Castle fan.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Castle playing 20 minutes? Why? Tell me, please. I don't get it. And he's 7 for 9 from the field. He scored 16 points in those 20 minutes, but he only plays 20 minutes.
I've got a video up on the San Antonio Sports Star Instagram at SA Sports Star. And I talk about his 16 off the bench. Is it time to send Chris Paul to the bench and put Castle in the starting lineup?
Yes.
And well, I say yes, but I'm a little conflicted, honestly, because I like the energy and what he brings with that second unit.
Well, if he would play, he only played 20 minutes.
All right. Keldon only played 11, and he sucked in those 11 minutes. Chris Paul did have 9 assists last night, but only 8 points. Devin, off shooting night. The fact that he took 9 shots last night, I'm fine with that. Devin needs to be somewhere probably between 12 and 15 shots anyway, but with Fox there trying to figure out the distribution. As long as Wemby's getting the most shots in most games, I'm good with it. You were bitching about Wemby and his 3-point shooting in the last game. Last night, he was 5 of 8.
It was good last night.
Well, again, and I'll take it, right? Because that is what Wemby is as a basketball player. He is a 3-point shooter. When he's missing a bunch of them, we all get mad. But in reality, that is his game.
That's fine. But I also thought, because we had this discussion last year, that he should have won Defensive Player of the Year. Spurs play no defense, including Wemby. They didn't last night. All right, I'll put it that way.
There we go.
You're taking on a Washington team that is that's already thrown the towel in for the season, and you allow these guys to come back. Somebody's got to play some defense on this ball club. They've got nobody to play defense, and that's an issue. That's a problem. Chris Paul certainly does not. He never has. But that's the problem when you're giving up 20-point leads. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out you're not playing defense. It's just that simple.
And what sucks is they don't play defense, but they go in those droughts and the defense seems to get worse. It makes no sense. It doesn't. And that's where you come back and, man, I don't like hammering Mitch Johnson. Guy's thrown into a position he wasn't ready for. But the longer he's interim coach, the worse it looks. At the beginning, I thought he was doing a good job, all things considered. Mm-hmm. Now it's like at some point, call a time, at some point, draw up this play, at some point, and yeah.
He's absolutely right. At some point, the Spurs have to make a decision. At some point, maybe Brett Brown's the best coach for this team moving forward, if you're actually trying to win games. We've thrust Mitch into into a situation he wasn't ready for. Jason's right. Maybe he hasn't grown enough with the position to warrant continuing on in that position right now. We have other guys who have been head coaches in the league on that bench that can fill that role, like a Brett Brown. Maybe it's time for that. And what I was talking about with Steph Castle, remember at the beginning of the year when Devin Vassell was hurt and then first coming back from the injury? Remember when he and CP3 were playing together in the starting lineup with Wemby and how that looked? And then Devin coming off the bench and being that instant offense, kind of helping that second unit that didn't have a go-to scorer. Maybe that's the best position for Devin Vassell on this team. Maybe he needs to be the sixth man coming off the bench and not Stephon Castle. Maybe Stephon Castle does deserve to run with Fox and Wemby and Harrison Barnes and CP3 because of his versatility defensively that Devin Vassell just doesn't have. And it also opens Devin Vassell up to not have to question about when he's taking shots. He is the shot taker on that second unit. He is the guy that helps kind of spark the offense when it goes into these offensive lulls. Because De'Aaron Fox and Wemby are that for the first unit. But they have nobody for that second unit for when they get into trouble and get into scoring droughts. Maybe Devin Vassell can be that guy because Steph Castle doesn't necessarily need the rock or plays drawn up specifically for him to be effective offensively because of the way he plays off of everybody else. That's just my thought. What do you think? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Goldfinger's asking if I'm happy with the Spurs' effort. No, there's a lot of things I'm not happy. I'm not happy with rotations, effort. There are a bunch of issues on the San Antonio Spurs that have so detrimental to winning on the floor right now. And it's kind of infuriating because it's the same consistent issues that it's been year after year after year with San Antonio. And the young thing has worn off. We could use that when Keldon was a rookie. We could use that when Devin was a rookie. Hell, we could use it last year when Victor was a rookie, even though he's wise beyond his years. And everybody talks about how basketball intelligent he is. There is no room for this as a young team anymore. Malachi Branham and Blake Wesley can't get off the bench. You've got Harrison Barnes. You've got Chris Paul. You've signed a Bismack Biyombo who's been in the league a long time. The other guys have played enough basketball in this league to know at this point, making the same mistakes is grounds for it's time to move on. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, firestorm was set off over the weekend as internal discussions were had in Cowboys Central. Wow. Leave it to the morning huddle to take those internal discussions. And should Micah Parsons be on the trade block if the Cowboys really want to kickstart this franchise into a Super Bowl contender? AJ and Rob talked about it this morning. We're bringing it to you next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs back in business, taking on the world champs. We're talking about Spurs Boston.
And Texas and Texas A&M both in action last night. How'd they do? We'll talk about it all. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
April breeze, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
Now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be
Reeling in the refunds.
limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak high. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Attention lovebirds. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Diamonds Direct has the gifts to wow your special someone. From dazzling diamonds and trending gold to vibrant gemstones, pearls, even timepieces. With hundreds of stunning styles under $1,000 and an exquisite collection of one-of-a-kind luxury pieces. Make your moment unforgettable. The best selection, value, and service are waiting for you. Make this Valentine's unforgettable with fine jewelry for every budget. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max used for adults only.
Always going for it, never pump. Fourth down, last call, Hail Mary, Prescott, touchdown.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that, at I am Pledger. Follow the station at SA Sports Star. And, of course, you can watch us on YouTube Live at SA Sports Star. There, go ahead, like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show there if you care to. Lots to get into in terms of the Dallas Cowboys. Coaching staff is rounded out. Brian Schottenheimer's staff is done. And actually, Dak Prescott talked today. But over the weekend, the thing that garnered the most headlines was Micah Parsons. Could he be traded for a draft steal, kind of Herschel Walker, like to set up the franchise for the future after watching the Eagles. Well, Rob and AJ on the Morning Huddle talked about the possibility of trading Micah Parsons and what it could mean for the franchise.
I think we can say it was broken on this show months ago that the Cowboys would consider trading Micah Parsons.
Well, I don't think we broke it, but I think we've certainly had this conversation before.
I think we broke it, Rob. Let's just let's own that.
Well,
that way,
I think it's idiotic, but that we've come to this.
I don't.
Well, I think it's idiotic that this is that there's a concern. They should have planned. This should be a no-brainer. The money should be in the bank. Michael Parsons should be a Cowboy for life. Guys like this don't come around very often. And if you do get them, you pay for them like you're going to pay for Myles Garrett. You know what I mean? No, there's a return for it. I get it.
If you can like get the stuff that it takes to rebuild a team, because you already have two massive contracts.
I know, and you're going to have to get rid of Micah. I'm not saying this isn't imminent. If you're going to fix this, there's going to be pain, and it's going to involve trading one of the 5 best defenders in football. You look at the bank. Let's be real. Your quarterback is going to cost you $89 million against the cap next year.
There is. I'm telling you, and we told you this at the time. The hurt that this Dak contract is going to cause is immeasurable, and it like the first pound of flesh might be Micah Parsons.
Well, it's not the equivalent of trading Luka, but it's kind of like right
except
now
without getting Anthony Davis back.
So they'll get something back. There will be a return for it if they do this right. It could border on not the level of Herschel Walker, but it should, if done right, provide the basis of what hopefully will become the next Cowboys Super Bowl. If you're going to trade Micah Parsons, tell me you get something in return. So my expectation is it's going to happen for a couple of reasons, and one of which will be the return, and others will be we just can't afford it. But to get here, how we got here is the true shame of this. I mean, you brought it up. The true pain wasn't the signing at 11 o'clock on the first day of football. The true pain will be felt this year and next when the bills are due. So I hate talking about it because we should have never gotten here. So I guess if you operate under that, like we're doing this because we have to, you can go kind of freewheel and know full well I got the franchise in my back pocket. I can keep you around and fix the salary cap for a couple of years. But in the end, as long as I do that, that cuts off the nose for the next tackle or guard that I got to sign.
I mean, you already have so many holes.
So I gotta. And it's going to be miserable. And I equated it to the Maverick fan. Luka was losing a loved one in a plane crash. You didn't know it was coming, and here it is, and oh my God, I got to deal with it. This is like losing a loved one to cancer, to some kind of dread disease that the next 8 months are going to be terrible, that we're going to have to deal with a bunch of crap, but at least he'll be here for a while. He'll still be in our lives. Not going to be here for long. I hate it, man. I hate it.
Now, Jerry Jones, obviously Jerry Jones likes to have some attention, and Jerry, I don't know that this is something Jerry would have thrown out there for people to discuss a couple days after the Super Bowl. I don't know.
Well, we're talking the realm of 3 number ones. I mean, we're talking a lot. So I want him now to become Jerry the salesman. Now's the time, dude. Now's the time.
The thing is, if they trade Micah Parsons, which, again, I'm not saying they shouldn't, DeMarcus Lawrence, Chauncey Goldston, Carl Lawson, all those guys are gone too. They're all free agents. Like,
what, you expect better?
You
expect success next year? Are you really thinking that this is a roster that's put together, honed for a run?
I mean, this roster 1 year ago won what, 13 games?
But you just said what is imminent to lose as well.
Yeah.
No, this was a roster that 1 year ago, yeah, but in the NFL, every 2 years, you have total transition. 2 years, 80% of your roster is new.
And even if you get 3 firsts, and let's say you do get 3 firsts, which would be a hell of a haul. I mean, let's say you hit on 2 of those. Now you've filled 2 holes, but you've created another one by getting rid of Micah.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
This is a nightmare scenario that was imminently avoidable. And it should have started not with Micah's contract. You should have signed Dak Prescott 4 years ago. We should now be dealing. Now, this is the year we should be dealing with his next contract, is whether he's worth it. But no, you kicked it down the road. You did this. You reorganized. You did all this. And then you went and signed Diggs. And then you did all these things without any planning, without any thought that, you know what? We've got the next Myles Garrett, and he's going to cost us a crap load. And all you could think in the back of your mind, Jimmy and Jerry and everybody up there was, oh, we'll franchise. But you just signed your quarterback to a $90 million salary cap hit. So that franchise, yeah, it looked good then. Now you can't do it. You can't afford it because, okay, that's 2 dudes and 50% of your cap.
The one way that the Cowboys could avoid all this drama and avoid paying late fees, so to speak, is to, if you do want to keep him, just extend him now.
Yes, but
today. And I know that the Cowboys don't like to extend guys early, but you just drug Dax and CDs out. And what did you gain from it? I think that this would be the easiest way to.
Well, even if you did sign him, even if you did, that would mean to the detriment. You got a limping quarterback and no offensive line that you can't help.
Right.
You better draft a running back because you're not going to be able to afford anything of merit because now running back market is back up. Now everybody looking for one because everybody needed one. Didn't need one before. Now they need one. They need Saquon. So now going to get a running back ain't going to be easy because they're going to be in tough demand. Your defense will have a hole in a variety of places that you can't fill. You've got to move Micah now. I mean, there's no – it might be able to wait a year, but there's no keeping him.
I believe there is keeping him. And as Gilbert P. says, Dallas is doomed. They aren't doomed. That $89 million cap hit, it's built in that way. It's to be restructured. They will find money to be able to, re-sign Micah Parsons. And here's the great thing. When you restructure Dak and CD, and you have other contracts like Zach Martin or even DeMarcus Lawrence coming off the books, you re-sign Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons' cap hit lowers because he is no longer playing under the impetus of that 5th-year rookie option, which spikes all the way up into the $20 million range. He instead gets all his money front-loaded, which levels the cap hit out. And then, hey, possibly if you get Micah done early, you get Dak's deal restructured, and you get CD's deal done, all of a sudden you've got some money to go re-sign an Osa Odighizuwa, or maybe add some pieces, or if you care, bring back a DeMarcus Lawrence this coming off season. Maybe Zach Martin comes back to play one more year, but not at 20-something million dollars at the top of the market, probably closer to 10 million as he tries to give it a go for a ring or something like that. That's how you open up money. That's how the Philadelphia Eagles open up money, which is why they can pay Jalen Hurts top of the market money and A.J. Brown top of the market money and Devontae Smith top of the market money and also Saquon Barkley top of the market money and Lane Johnson on the offensive line top of the market money and their defensive linemen top of the market money. Like, the fallacy that you can't get away with paying multiple players top of the market money is just that. It is a fallacy because you can. It's the way those contracts are structured. Jerry Jones is crying poor. He is not poor. He is poor to the cap because he has not done the things necessary. Last year, he cried poor all offseason. what happens when he finally signs CD and Dak Prescott when they had like $3 million in cap space. Oh, all of a sudden on opening day of the season, they have over $30 million that they are rolled over into this year. The Cowboys have money. They know how to produce money. Don't let them fool you that they can't do that. They have chosen not to in the past. Will they do it this year? That remains to be seen. But we all know it's getting close to that time. Couple of weeks away from the scouting combine as free agency rolls in and then the NFL draft. And that means it is time to start thinking about teams' needs. As earlier today, Field Yates released his mock draft 3.0. And actually, it was nice to not see Ashton Genty mocked to the Cowboys. We'll get into that coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1.
America's Diamond has never sold lab-grown diamonds, and we warned our clients, friends, and neighbors that wholesale prices would crash to almost nothing. 2-carat GVS2 lab-grown diamonds are currently being traded at wholesale for $264, but some jewelers are still selling them online for $3,000 to $4,000. Repeat, wholesale $264, retail $3,000 to $4,000. Some retailers are selling 1-carat lab-grown diamonds for under $300, and others are giving them away for free with purchase. Lab-grown diamonds are very easy to detect with gemological equipment. Tens of millions of carats are produced in huge factories in China and India, using a tremendous amount of subsidized electricity supplied by coal-burning power plants. America's Diamond has only offered traditional, real, natural earth-grown diamonds that are rare, extremely beautiful, and have had real value for centuries. See our television program tonight on ABC KSAT 12 at 12:35 a.m. or right now at americasdiamond.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com. Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water, but you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
As of 9 a.m. this morning, our EV trucking company is officially in operation.
Andrew's zero-emission trucks are driving the transportation category forward.
We'll make driving safer, easier, and less stressful. Now our technology needs to keep up with demand.
He needs to put pedal to the metal on hiring more software engineers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business.
Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it and will beat any print quote.
Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs.
No problem.
I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens.
Totally.
I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing.
I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's.
Flew up draft boards in Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell, which helped to solidify their secondary. Now, as far as the Dallas Cowboys, earlier today, Field Yates released a mock draft, and instead of Ashton Genty for once, it had them taking Michigan defensive back Will Howard. And I like Will. Will, I think, is a great corner. Big, super athletic. And it's going to come down to Matt Eberflus's scheme more so than anything, how he uses his corners and how they best fit. Because you look, Deron Bland's about to come into a contract year, and he's set himself up to make a pretty penny with the way he's played throughout his rookie contract. You've got Jordan Lewis, who is going to be a free agent this coming year. Hopefully they can re-sign him, bring him back, and you've got Trayvon Diggs coming off of an injury, and you don't know where he's going to be at when he comes back. This is not an awful move by the Dallas Cowboys. I know a lot of people would like to see an offensive line. Look, I thought that offensive line played great at the end of the year. Brock Hoffman played really well. Once he got in there, it solidified, and you had a 1,000-yard running back who probably wouldn't have. So if you draft a running back later to play behind that same offensive line, I thought that line got better as the year went on, and another year into it, probably even better than that. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger here on San Antonio Sports Star. Remember, check on your loved ones. You never know what they're going through in life. I appreciate all y'all for rolling through with me today. We will see you tomorrow right back here on Extra Innings with Pledger.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues